Hello, this is your boy Bill Eshkavava, and I'm here with my E3 review roundup, whatever you want to call it. This year's E3 was probably the weakest one in the last maybe 5 years. It was a pretty weak E3. I'm just going to go through what I thought were highlights, what I thought was nothing to get excited about. So E3 kicked off with EA, and EA doesn't have really much of anything that I'm interested in. I'm not interested in the sports games, FIFA, Madden, whatever. I'm not interested in them. Star Wars Battlefront 2 looks okay, but I played Battlefront 1, the first EA one. It was pretty trashy, pretty dog crap. So I'm not interested. I'm not spending my money on another Battlefront Star Wars game. I'm interested in the Amy Hemming, Jade Raymond story-based Star Wars. They didn't show that off. So nothing there of interest. The only thing there of interest is Anthem, which is the new BioWare game. Coming off BioWare, Andromeda wasn't the same people that are doing this BioWare. This is the good BioWare, not the shit BioWare. But Andromeda was pretty let down, so who knows what BioWare can deliver on it. Plus, they showed it off more on the Xbox, so I'll leave it to Xbox. Next we had Bethesda. Pretty weak. Don't know why Bethesda had a showing. Pretty cringy, with the kids coming out, telling what their dads do at work. We don't really care about that. We're here for games. We're not here for stories and family time. Not really much of interest there. They showed Evil Within 2, but I'm not into horror games, so nothing of interest there for me. They showed Wolfenstein: The New Order. Also, it's another Wolfenstein. Looks alright. But besides that, it's like Skyrim, Fallout VR, Skyrim VR, Skyrim for the Switch. Who cares about Skyrim? I loved Skyrim back in 2011. It's now 2017. It's a 6-year-old game. No one cares about Skyrim anymore. So Bethesda, I don't even know why Bethesda was there. Why they could have just showed off those two games, one in the Xbox conference and one in the PlayStation conference, and Evil Within on Xbox, Wolfenstein on PlayStation. And they didn't even need a conference. So I don't know why Bethesda was there. Nothing to be hyped. Let's go over to Xbox. What does Xbox have? Xbox has 42 games, claiming some of them are exclusive. They're not really. Any of them are exclusive. They're like coming to PC. They're mostly all on PC. Or they're coming first to Xbox and then PlayStation. So nothing to get hyped there about. And then the Project Scorpio has the dumbest name ever. Xbox One X. So now you have the Xbox One, the Xbox One S, and the Xbox One X. Stupidest name. Xbox doesn't know what the hell they're doing with the naming conventions. It's completely stupid. Costs $500 US. Really powerful, but the games they showed running on it are basically games that could run on an N64. So I don't see why we're hyped for that kind of power when they basically have no games for it or anything that takes advantage of that kind of power. So Xbox showing a lot of games, but none of them were big hitters. None of them were that important. They showed Crackdown. Who cares? The best thing they showed on the Xbox stage was Anthem by BioWare. The game looks amazing. You got these mech suits. You're jumping in the water. You're jumping out. It looks really good, but come on, I'm getting that on PlayStation 4. I'm not getting that on Xbox One X. So, or getting it on PC. So who cares? So Xbox, meh, a lot of games, none of them big hitters, none of them to get excited about. Xbox One X, stupid name, pretty expensive at $500, powerful, but didn't show off any games that take advantage of that kind of power, besides like triple platform kind of games. So we go on to Ubisoft, and Ubisoft has probably one of the best conference just because they announced Beyond Good and Evil 2. Yes, Beyond Good and Evil 2, they've launched it, they've shown off a cinematic trailer, and that got me super hyped, and that's probably why I think Ubisoft probably had the best press conference of all of them, just because they had Beyond Good and Evil 2. Besides that, they have South Park, The Fractured But Whole. Looking forward to that. South Park looks pretty good. They got a mobile game for it. Who cares? It's mobile. Just Dance, no one cares about it. They showed off a pirate game, which is a combat pirate game. So basically, Xbox has Sea of Thieves, which is looking I don't know what they're doing with Rare, but okay, Sea of Thieves, which is cartoony looking, and Ubisoft has one that's realistic looking, basically. Don't really care about multiplayer pirate games. I've already got a multiplayer game. It's called Overwatch. I don't need a pirate game for it. Kind of like, it's almost like a For Honor, but instead of being gladiators and stuff like that, it's pirates. It almost looks like it could have been a DLC pack for Honor. But who cares? Just Dance, who cares? They showed off Far Cry 5 again. We already knew about Far Cry 5, but they showed off more about Far Cry 5. I like Far Cry. I'm a fan of Far Cry. Probably getting Far Cry 5. But nothing to be hyped about because we already knew about the game. Assassin's Creed. Wow, Assassin's Creed. They took a year off. Game looks pretty much the same. Except now it's got RPG mechanics, so you can level up and grind loot. They're probably going to have loot boxes to sell as DLC, as microtransactions. Get the loot boxes to get these epic items that come out of the loot boxes. Or buy 50 loot boxes, get shit. Nothing to really be excited about. If you're a Assassin's Creed fan, it's more Assassin's Creed set in Egypt. If you hate Assassin's Creed, like me, I don't like Assassin's Creed, then nothing there to pull you back in. Now we go on to Sony, and Sony, I'm a Sony fan. I own a PlayStation. I've always been on Sony's side, but this Sony E3 conference was a rerun of last year's one. And nothing they showed was new. They've got God of War. Thank you. You showed it last year. Is it coming out this year? No, it's coming out next year. Okay. Uncharted Lost Legacy. Good. Picking that up. We already knew about it. Detroit Become Human. Very good. You showed up last year. Is it coming this year? No, it doesn't have a date, so who cares? 2 years running. We've seen the same game again. Yeah, the only stuff they showed was the Monster Hunter Worlds, which is something new, but it's Monster Hunter. I'm not a fan of Monster Hunter, so I don't care about Monster Hunter. And a whole bunch of games which they showed off last year, which still haven't come out and still aren't coming out this year. So they're coming out next year. So they've been at 2 E3s, possibly 3 E3s if they're next year also. So nothing really there to get hyped about. It's basically a rerun of last year's show, just worse. Days Gone, don't care about zombies. I've seen enough zombie games. I've played enough zombie games. I don't want any zombie games. Same as State of Decay 2 on Xbox One X. Looks horrible. Looks like an old game. Don't know where the hell the power's going for that game. And we've already played zombie games. There's already been plenty of zombie games. Don't want any more zombie games. Last of Us 2 wasn't there. But that game's coming out like 2019, so there's no point showing that off yet. Kojima wasn't there with Death Stranding, but also that game's coming out like 2020. The only good announcement, and it wasn't even in the Sony press conference, is that Ni no Kuni 2 has a release date. It's coming out 10th of November, something like that, and it got a release date, and it's pretty early. It's this year, and that was the best thing that came out from the Sony, and that wasn't even in the press conference. So then we jump forward, we go to Nintendo, and man, Nintendo is a mixed bag, because you can see that they're getting no third-party support. They're getting no Destiny, they're getting no, they showed off Destiny and Call of Duty also on the PlayStation store. They care about Call of Duty, Destiny's looking pretty okay, might pick up Destiny. But back to Nintendo, they're not getting any Destiny, they're not getting any Call of Duty, they're getting an old FIFA port, like a FIFA, but it doesn't have all the stuff in it, all the Alex Hunter mode and stuff like that, or the story mode. They're not getting any of the, like the Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War, the new one. They're not getting Assassin's Creed, they're not getting any of that. What they are getting is Skyrim. Yes, Skyrim's in like 3 presentations. Skyrim, a 6-year-old game that no one plays anymore. Yep, Skyrim again. They're getting Skyrim. They're getting a Link in Skyrim. Looks horrible. Looks ugly as hell. Probably one of the worst. Skyrim was also in the PlayStation conference as a VR game, just because Skyrim has to be everywhere now. The 6-year-old game that should already be dead, and we should already be talking about Elder Scrolls 6, but we're still, trudging along. Not to mention the whole Bethesda show with the Elder Scrolls Online and Elder Scrolls Legends. No one cares about those things. Get those things out of here. Anyway, what else we have? They have no support from the third parties. They're getting Rocket League. They're getting Skyrim. That's about it. They're getting a Rayman versus Mario kind of like game. Not really interested in it. People freaked out about the Metroid Prime 4. I don't see why you're freaking out. It's not being developed by Retro. There isn't anything attached to this game yet except the 4. Even the font and the Metroid Prime is an old font. You know, they just basically stuck a 4 next to it. No one knows who the hell's developing this. Some other Nintendo team's developing this. It's not Retro. This game's like 2019, if we get it. If this doesn't just become vaporware. So there's no point being excited. Be excited about the remake for the 3DS, because they actually showed gameplay of that, but they didn't show it in the presentation. They showed it in the treehouse or something. So there's no hype there for Metroid until we actually see the game and who the hell's developing it and what the hell it looks like. Mario Odyssey looks fantastic. That game's a home run. Zelda DLC, fantastic. Looks fantastic. They're making a Kirby game, they're making a Yoshi game, they're bringing back everything again. So really, not really that much excitement from Nintendo, except the fact that Nintendo Game Freak did announce that they are making a Pokemon developed for the Switch, probably coming out next year or the following. But yes, there will be for the first time, actually console Pokemon mainline game, and that's basically the most thing to be hyped about, is that and Super Mario Odyssey. Besides that, Nintendo is in a world of pain. They have no support from anyone yet. They're not getting any of the triple A games. So, if you like Nintendo games and you're looking forward to another Kirby, another Yoshi, then alright. But if you're kind of over that, then there's nothing else there for you because there's no third parties. So, all in all, E3 this year was kind of like a meh. Who cares? Like, there's nothing there that was exciting. There's nothing there, even from Sony, Xbox, or Nintendo, that's like, yes. The biggest excitement for the whole show was Beyond Good and Evil 2 for me. And that's Ubisoft. So I have to actually give my championship this year to Ubisoft due to the fact that they actually showed a game that we didn't know was coming, that got me excited. The rest of the stuff we knew was coming. It's that and Anthem from BioWare that looks good. God of War, we saw it last year, so just release the game. I just want to play it. Mario Odyssey looks fantastic. 100% want to play it. Release the game. Spider-Man looks good. We already knew about that last year. Release the game. Yeah, so a lot of reruns, a lot of games that were shown off last year and still haven't come out and still aren't coming out. Looking forward to Ni no Kuni later this year. Looking forward for Destiny 2. Looking forward to the Crash trilogy at the end of the month. Looking forward to Mario Odyssey, which is coming out October. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing more of the Metroid. But all in all, it was not as good as last year or the year before that. And we gotta just hope and see. So please do not forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Bilishka Vava.